after passing a literacy plan last year. State lawmakers in Illinois are looking to expand requirements to ensure partners supporting teachers and students also follow the plan. The State Senate Education Committee passed a bill today requiring any vendor or learning partner approved to work with a school in English language arts must follow the literacy plan, which uses evidence-based literacy instruction materials to teach students about reading skills.
House Bill 4902 on the one hand is a fairly small bill, but on the other hand is a step forward in a really big endeavor that Illinois is taking on.
The bill also now heads to the Senate